All right, we're in house here with Coach Smith, and Coach, good to be back in the saddle with you. I know it's been crazy with fall breaks. It's jacked up our coaches shows, but we're here early Monday morning, and you guys coming off a big victory versus Etowah. Coach, that's got to be good for you, make the kids feel great. Etowah, still Etowah, it's a traditional powerhouse in North Alabama, but take us back and how you guys achieved that victory Friday night.
Yeah, came out with a lot of energy. That energy was kind of squashed right off the bat. They ran the opening kickoff back on us and jumped up 6-0, but drove back down the field, scored, went up 7-6, and so then, it just kind of went back and forth. At halftime, we were down 21-13, I think, and so, that kind of come in at halftime, with our backs against the wall a little bit, come out to second half, and it's what I was really proud of. We're looking for those victories within, and the process of what we're trying to accomplish. So, we come in, we're down 21-13, we come out the second half and was able to go down there and we go back and forth in the second half, and really, two big moments for us, in the fourth quarter. They drive down into our territory deep, and we were able to get a stop, and then, not just get the stop, but we get the ball back. We got to get a couple of first downs in order to ice the game, and we're sitting there faced with a 3rd and 8, I believe, and we're able to get that first down, which allowed us to, get in our, victory formation and run the clock out, which was really good. So really proud of how our guys, performed second half. The mindset and the mentality that we had, shows some growth in a lot of areas. Etowah is Etowah, a very storied program, and that was a big win for us. And so, hopefully we can carry that momentum as we move on in the season.
Coach Peavy and them heavy in the weight room, they're foot to foot, and they fire off the ball. Coming into that week, how were you preparing for that? I know you're used to seeing a lot of teams that run, and they've done a good job this year.
Right.
I think they're a lot better football team than the record shows.
Right.
But you knew it was going to be a physical game. How did you prepare for that?
Yeah, we knew, we always use the term fist fight in a phone booth. That's basically what we were expecting. Anytime you play a team like Etowah that does that, it limits your possessions offensively. Their big ball control, and that, they controlled it really. We were able to get up in the second half, and they got the ball in the third quarter, and really, their drives was 12 plays, 14 plays, and so, they get you in that 3rd and short, and then they get that first down, and then it's another whole set of downs. And so we knew it was going to be a physical game early on. They got after us really good up front, and their first few possessions they were able to have some success on the ground. But I think as we settled in the game, I was really proud of our defense, of how we kind of settled in and started making plays. And it was a physical game, just like every game in this region, a lot of physical teams. But, I was proud of how we overcame and was able to make the plays we needed to at the end to win it.
Coach, when you look at this region, you just hit on it. You're sitting here and you got a team like Hokes Bluff that literally is on the outside looking in now. That's insane.
It is.
Talk about that in this region overall.
Yeah, it's a great region. I really think that the 4 teams in our region that make the playoffs, I think there's a chance that a couple of them can make some really deep runs in 4A North.
I agree.
I think this region is going to be well represented, and not just good teams, but tradition. Tradition in this region of winning, and tradition of teams that have won state championships, and and that's where we got to get to compete with those type teams. You're looking back over this season, and it really hasn't reflected as much as we've wanted it to in the win-loss column, but midway through the second quarter, we have a lead on Cherokee County. We're down by a touchdown at the half against them. The first half against Alexandria, we're toe-to-toe with them. We take Hokes Bluff, they end up beating us 35-28. And so, being able to be consistent and to develop the depth that we need in this region. This region, you got to have some depth. Our depth right now is ninth graders. They're young, and we've got to develop that depth, over some time to where we're in those games late instead of just, after halftime, they kind of wear us down a little bit. And so, that's a process of developing that depth and getting our numbers back, continue to keep our numbers where they need to be. And it's a process, but I've been really pleased at how we've played at times, showing that we can play with those teams. We just have to learn to do it for not just a half, do it for a whole game, to at least give ourselves a shot to win. We had a chance to win the Hokes Bluff game at the end. They made more plays than we did. But just
y'all were going to have a lot of injuries that night as well.
And we've had some guys out, that definitely, plays a role in it. At this time of year, everybody's banged up and everybody. But we started a ninth grade running back Friday night. Jaden Murray did a really good job for us, had some big carries. And so we're playing some young guys. And like I said before, we have about 30 eighth graders that'll be freshmen next year. We only have 9 or 10 seniors this year. So, hopefully our numbers will continue to increase on the varsity level, and just developing that depth, in order to play in a physical region, like we play in. And so, we've got to learn how to win those games and how to compete with those type teams if we're ever going to get where we want to be, which is in the playoffs and that kind of thing.
Imagine being the 2 seed in the region that you cross with.
Yeah.
Here comes Cherokee.
Yeah, I mean, it's just
3-time defending North Cherokee.
I was looking at a mock bracket last night, and you take a team like Good Hope or Hamilton there, who's the number 1 or 2, and they could possibly be seeing Cherokee County in the first round. I mean, there's a lot of there's a lot of different scenarios to where whoever's the 1 or the 2 in some of these other regions are going to be faced with a Cherokee County or even this year in Asheville, or even possibly you got Alexandria and Anniston, who, I mean, it's just there's some good teams that's not in the playoffs that's in this region. And if they were in other regions, they would probably be in. And
maybe so hosting. No offense to nobody.
Right, but I mean, it's this football in this area. There's no getting out of it. It's not like we can't look at the next. Reclassification happens in December. We're not going anywhere. Cherokee County's not going anywhere. Alexandria's not going anywhere. Anniston's not going anywhere. The football in this area, in this part of the state, is really good. And it doesn't matter if you're looking at 3A or 4A. Some people go, well, if we could just drop to 3A. Well, you drop to 3A, you're dealing with Piedmont and Westbrook and some of those guys. You go to 5A, you're dealing with Moody, Leeds, and right. I mean, so. It's just really good, and so we've just got to learn how to continue the process to where we're in that conversation and our kids know what it's going to take in order to get to the playoffs.
No doubt, man. It's crazy. And then this week, Coach, you're going to close out region play with the number 1 team in the region, Anniston, which is it's going to be a tall task regardless. But man, what opportunity for your kids to go out and compete, and it's a measuring stick for you. And I know your kids are fired up because that's right here in this county. Yeah,
I mean, we know all about Anniston, and they've got a really good team. They've got a team that I think can really go deep in the playoffs. And I don't know what they're ranked, but I'm sure it's going to be close to a top 5 team. They're undefeated. And really, they've been beating folks really good. I mean, they haven't had those close games. They've been really going out and playing well, so Coach Jackson's done a great job with them. And so, it's going to be a tall task. We have to go over there to them. It'll be their senior night, but it's like I tell our guys, it's about us. It's not about who we're playing, whether we're playing a team that hadn't won a game or whether we're playing a team that's undefeated. We still have to go out and play the same way and learn how to play up to a certain standard that'll give us a chance to be able to compete with those type teams. And so it's another opportunity for us, and an opportunity for us to grow, and hopefully we'll go over there and play well.
Yes, dude. It's Coach Jackson. To me, it seems like this team's a little bit more. It's not as star heavy, but they're more just solid guys across the board, and they seem to be playing like a more cohesive
Yeah, they've got a good team. I mean, they're playing together as a team, and they've got great athletes, got great size, but they're really playing smart. They're playing well, and they're playing really disciplined. And
you're seeing the same thing as I see.
Yeah, and so when you have that, you have a chance to make a deep run. And so it's going to be a great challenge for us, but our kids are fighting and doing everything they can, and that's what I expect Friday night.
That's it. Coach, did you get to roll the tree?
We did. We rolled the fire of that tree.
Y'all named the tree yet?
It's the tree.
The tree. Heck yeah.
It's the tree. We've tossed around some different things, victory rolls and things like that. But yeah, after the game Friday night, our guys, ran straight from the field up here and started grabbing toilet paper and started rolling, and it was a great night. The fans, the kids, the community. Everybody stuck around and just, got up there and had a good time, and, that's what it's all about.
Wear it out.
So, really, really proud of that, and that was a lot of fun Friday night.
Coach, before too long, y'all gonna have to be going to Sam's.
Well, the good thing, and here's the funny thing, we had homecoming a couple of weeks ago, so when homecoming was over, I just put an all call out and told anybody that had any extra toilet paper, just bring it to me, and I'll put it in my office, and so I kind of keep a stockpile of it.
Good.
To have, and so
hopefully, a good problem to have.
Hopefully, in the future we'll get a lot more rolling of that tree, and
right.
It's a neat little tradition we've started, and kids really like it, and the community loves it, so it's been really good.
No, that's awesome, Coach. That's the thing to me that makes high school football little tidbits like that to me.
No doubt.
Coach, I appreciate you sitting in with us. Thank you so much.
I appreciate it.